Biodiversity is essential for the air we breathe, the food we consume, and the water we drink. Humans have been responsible for a massive loss of biodiversity during the Industrial Revolution, including the extinction of 83% of all terrestrial mammals, 80% of marine mammals, and 50% of all plants. We spend billions of dollars looking for life on other worlds and trillions of dollars killing life on this one.
Human actions have affected 75% of the ice-free land area since 1970. Ecosystem devastation has contributed significantly to climate change and has put 1 million species on the verge of extinction. If we don't take action, this can lead to the destruction of civilization and the extinction of the natural world. The message is clear, and time is running out.
The purpose of suffering is to help us understand we are the ones who caused it. We, the BiYOUTHify, will help you become the centerpiece of this solution.
From saving one generation to another generation,
and from protecting one's life to 100 of lives.
We will rise and help the world to prevent biodiversity loss, and we are here to bring back the beauty we once had.
There's damage to the rainforest.
Unfortunately, people did. Hundreds of acres of the world's rainforest are being destroyed every day.
But all those trees and plants in the rainforest produce much of the world's oxygen.
What is biodiversity loss and why is it a problem? Before we dig into its meaning, let's determine first what is biodiversity. Our natural world comprises a wide range of animals, plants, fungi, and even microbes like bacteria. This is important for maintaining our ecological system because it provides oxygen, clean air and water, plant pollination, pest control, wastewater treatment, and various other ecosystem services. Furthermore, our planet's total biodiversity is enormous, which is positive because the more biodiversity there is, the more secure all life on Earth is. As a result, biodiversity merely refers to the natural balance. However, because of biodiversity loss, the balance is continuously being degraded, ecosystems become more vulnerable to disturbances and are less able to provide humans with needed services. Why is it a problem? We use nature to achieve our goals. All human activity, including food production, water and air filtering, carbon storage, and the aesthetic, non-material work of nature ultimately relies on natural services. The devastation of ecosystems has contributed significantly to climate change and has resulted in the extinction of 1 million species. The dodo, stellar sea cow, passenger pigeon, and many other species have all perished due to human activity. If ecosystem services are no longer adequate to meet social requirements, biodiversity loss can have a direct human health consequences.
there are a handful of causes on why there's been proven significant losses of biodiversity on Earth. When considering the loss of species, we remember the abbreviation HIPPCO or HIPCO. The H stands for habitat fragmentation, pertaining to the destruction of specific species habitats for the use of human resources, where an example could be overfishing. The I stands for invasive species, wherein foreign species take dominance over the native species. The first P stands for population growth, which corresponds to higher demand for resources. The second P and the C stand for pollution and climate change, which has an extreme negative impact for species heavily depending on climate and the environment. Finally, the O stands for overexploitation, pertaining to us humans overusing the resources we have with no regard. Next, we consider the causes of biodiversity pertaining to our plants and forests: unsustainable logging, Fires, deforestation, including tropical forests, have been the biggest cause of biodiversity in our environment. Another big cause is the drastic rise of the use of prestigious large companies of palm oil, wherein plantations for this product are aggressively being made, and more deforestation is required in order to do so. With all of these causes considered, it is crucial to understand the consequences of these actions that lead to the destruction of our biodiversity. Biodiversity loss causes ecosystems to change, which could be the root to all the other impacts it will have on us. When ecosystem services lessen, it can have an indirect impact on livelihood and economy, seeing that there may be significant price increases on resources since they are being less and less available for us. The health of our environment is also jeopardized as we continue deforestation, seeing that forests provide important economic and ecological services such as slowing down projected climate change and the removal of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere.
The Philippines is the center of marine shore fish diversity in the world. It is also one of the 17 mega-diverse countries. These countries contain 2/3 of the Earth's biodiversity and 70 to 80% of the world's endangered species. It is sufficient to state that the Philippines' biodiversity is unimaginable and equivalent to the best the world has to offer. Even so, one of the social issues raised by biodiversity loss is its security. The Philippines is considered to be one of the hottest spots in the world. To be classified as a biodiversity hotspot, a region must have lost at least 70% of its natural biodiversity, usually due to human activity. These human activities have resulted in a massive loss of forest cover, now down to only 18% of our total land area, and only about 800 hectares of virgin forest left. Human activity has also threatened an endangered species, which is increasing about 9.7 annually. One of these human activities is pollution. Air, water, and land pollution all contributed to the loss of biodiversity. Pollution not only affects us, but also biodiversity. Currently, only 5% of our coral reefs remain in excellent condition. 30 to 50% of our seagrass beds were lost in the last 50 years, and only 112,400 hectares of mangroves left. This sudden and constant loss of biodiversity is telling us nothing but to take action in protecting and securing our biodiversity. In a wider and broader perspective, deforestation is one of the major factors of biodiversity loss, in which it is temporary or permanent removal of large expanses of forest for agriculture, settlements, or other uses. Currently, human activities have reduced the Earth's original forest cover by 46%, with most of this loss occurring in the last 60 years. This itself is a large scale of deforestation and is still increasing up to this day. Trees and forests serve a very important part in our lives. Forests remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and store it in organic compounds through photosynthesis. It also helps stabilize the Earth's temperature and slow projected climate change. Deforestation also results in other issues that we globally have, one of which is climate change. Due to the Earth losing most of forests and trees, the amount of carbon dioxide that we produce is now excessive. With forests being burnt or cut down this year, let us not forget that there are also living organisms that live in this forest. At least some of the world's known species of plants and animals live in tropical forests. If current deforestation rates continue, about 40% of the world's remaining intact forest will have been logged to other uses within the 2 decades, if not sooner.
Among the very fundamental scientific principles that guided us in conducting this advocacy with regards to biodiversity, we were able to primarily exhibit objectivity and replicability. Objectivity is perhaps a key concept both in how we talk about science in everyday life and in the philosophy of science. This principle is based on facts and is free from any forms of bias, meaning not being influenced by particular perspectives, value commitments, or personal or community interests. Our approach to achieve objectivity is through confirmation of data and research, evidence and foundation of statistics, and purely choice. The role objectivity plays in dealing with science is crucial since lack of thereof can hurt scientific progress that can therefore generate inaccurate results. Objectivity is crucial as scientific studies seek to discover new knowledge and not just prove a hypothesis. After all, research and experiments are conducted to get one step ahead to the truth and not just get the answers the researcher wants. Through the various articles we have come across, we were able to observe consistent findings that discuss the same topic and aim to answer the same question using new sets of data or new computational methods. It is essential for our research to be replicable since this gives readers enough detailed information that the research can be repeated and other researchers a chance to test the findings of the study. Replicability being evident on articles we have read keeps the credibility and honesty of the author and therefore establishing the information's validity and reliability and thus giving us confidence in using and reading the information presented to us. Science technology has the potential to transform the way we approach ecosystem restoration, and this can be strategically applied to improve research on migration, human-wildlife conflict, relocation and reintroduction of species, and predator-prey interactions. Several companies have started to use drones to determine what species are needed and where they are, and then use that information to reforest, replant, and restore. Bioremediation techniques have advanced to an extent that allows us to use natural processes to help rewild damaged habitats. Furthermore, natural technologies available and affordable can harness opportunities to fuse natural infrastructure and technology to enhance adaptive capacity, strengthen resilience, and reduce vulnerability of specific sectors in our ecosystem. Addressing the societal issues raised by our team, our group made a plan of action based on Laudato Si, which would help prevent biodiversity loss, and they are as follows. For instance, people having an additional investment into researching how ecosystems function and how human action changes them for better understanding is the first necessary solution offered in the Laudato Si. Another one is to make smart eco-friendly choices. We can offer zero-waste products and it can start in our own households. Zero-waste products from toiletries to food and beverages products. We can use refillable containers and bottles while avoiding the use of plastic. Moreover, one of our plans is to introduce Ecosia, a browser search engine that plants trees as you search on their engine. Another one is Ocean Heroes, which helps collect plastics from oceans through searches. With these search engines, we are not only reforesting our planet and cleaning the ocean, but also we are empowering the communities. Also, take time to make changes to our life habits. We should stop littering the planet and pick the trashes we see around us. We should teach the younger generation the right things to help recover the biodiversity loss, and it should start with you. Lastly, we can volunteer to organizations that are working to help achieve a greener tomorrow. We can offer our time to improve our surroundings. And if time does not permit us to help our surroundings, we can donate to non-profit organizations that fight to protect biodiversity around the world. To cut it short, we can positively or negatively impact local biodiversity and worldwide biodiversity with our everyday actions and decisions. We should educate ourselves and be keen and wise on where we should stand. And it should be for the positive and the great benefit for the future. So now, let us take action and be as one. Again, this is BiYOUTHify.
And let us
Take a step into beautifying
What we wish to see in this world.